Ah, jeez. Here we go again. Let's go. What's up, YouTube fam? How are you guys doing today? Clint Lund back with London Mix, and today, guys, I finally accepted defeat on the YZ250. I have decided just to pull out the motor completely out of the frame. It needs to be done anyway. I need to get that thing completely stripped down. It's gonna be a ton of work, but it needs it, right? I mean, let's be honest. So up on Instagram, I put it up to you guys. I said, so what are we gonna do with this piece of junk? Like, seriously, I gave options like motard, desert bike, woods bike, something for the sand dunes, put a wicked paddle with like a crazy 325 motor on it. I said, did I say super motard already? Oh, I've been thinking hard about that one. But street legal, like there's some things, some strings I can pull, you know, to get this thing street legal in my area. But anyways, what should we do? And I've had an overwhelming response from you guys, like seriously overwhelming. It's been a lot of mixed. We'll go over all the votes later and kind of see where we're at. Not making any decisions yet. Still got a lot to do on this thing. I mean, like seriously, this is just a ton of work. And so we will determine, though, we will go by all your viewer ratings at what everyone says, whoever says it the most, no matter if I love it or not. But one guy even proposed doing a Moto Triple X early, you know, like throwback bike, and thought that was a great idea. Some Chad Reed replicas got shouted out. Another one got shouted out to try to make it look as new and as good as the 2019 or 2020 YZ250. Less, obviously, the aluminum frame. Keep the steel frame. But then that got me to thinking, like, it wouldn't really be that hard to change it over to aluminum frame. But anyways, try to, you know, there's a lot of guys that have this bike out there, the whole 96 to 99 and 2000, 2001. But, you know, is it hard to put on a 2002 tank? And then if we could get on the 02 tank, can we make it, get the restyle kit and make this thing totally look brand new again? So it got me thinking. So either way, got a lot of work to do. We're going to take this engine out, see how bad it is. I mean, I already know it's chowder. It's rusted. But just see, hopefully when I split the cases, it's not complete rust bomb in there. Hopefully that has oil in it and it's just focused to the combustion chamber area. Blah, 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 blah. Done talking. Let's get hacking. Alright guys, so got the 01 KX YZ. I've worked on a lot of Kawasaki's. Give me a break. The 01 YZ is up on the lift now, so we can do some good teardown on this thing. I'll show you though, just something for you guys out there who do your own maintenance, and maybe this you didn't know, but I'll show you real quick. As you guys saw last time, I did try to get this master link off. If you guys didn't know, this is not the correct direction to put on a master link. The open end should be at the back. The reason is when they're faced forward like this, the direction of the chain is going this way, and as it comes through the rub block here, which is, you know, it rubs tight on the sides of the chain and on the bottom, it can snag this clip and push it off. So it's really important you run the open end of the clip at the back. Just a quick little tech tip for you guys, because I've seen this many times, and then you go off a jump, something that you need some throttle, and then this comes off, your day of riding is over, maybe even your career. So just a little tech tip. I want to wear your safety glasses, bro.
Wow, I forgot I had them.
Gonna go for a professional chain removal, guys. Huh? Wait. No, you got there. You got there. I'll just go over the top. Okay. Over the top with it. Careful not to damage those beautiful rims. That's your bike. Shame on you. But we understand. We all on this channel understand what this bike has gone through, so we all should not be surprised at this point that we had to cut off the chain with a cutoff wheel. Brought to you by Harbor Freight. So guys, now that that's clear, we're going to remove the radiators. Just it gives the whole engine room to rock forward and come out. Got to take off the works connection frame covers and definitely try to bling those things out. Come in and kind of grind some of these edges smooth. But just, yeah, start clearing some path here. Take off the rest of the subframe where we can get this engine out easily. And see just how bad the damage is. Alright, so get the radiators off. And I don't even think at this point that the radiators are any good to use, unfortunately. They're pretty smashed and waffled. Basically, guys, we are building an entire new bike from scratch using the engine almost only. Obviously, we'll use the Swingarm. Still debating if we're going to use this frame or if we're going to look for aluminum one, if we're just going to try to do a nice conversion to like a 2020 YZ on this frame. I think that'd be kind of cool. Obviously, we're dumpstering the forks. We're dumpstering the wheels. So we'll keep subframe. Maybe, or no, we won't even keep subframe. We're gonna get the newer style subframe on this thing. So frame and swing arm, I think that is, and the engine, I think that is seriously all we are using from this bike, and the rest of it is going to be all completely brand new. Of course, we're going to use some pivot works on the swing arm, get some brand new swing arm bearings in here, get this thing freshened up and brand new again. Going to look for the Triple S rear shock and the Triple S front shock that came off of all the 2006 newer YZ line. So 125, 250, 250F, and 450 all had the Triple S's from 06 and up. Truly great dual cartridge suspension, 48 millimeter, good stuff. And so we are going to make this bike worth way more than it is to anyone who would ever buy it, but it's okay because we're London Max and we do what we want. These hoses are also not going to be able to be reused because I'm afraid if I bend them too much, they are going to crack and fall apart in my hands. Not sure if this thing sat at the bottom of a swamp and then it was, taken out of the swamp and then left outside in the bleaching sun for 100 years, even though it's a 2001. Quite possible.
I think that it was a Katrina.
Here's a Hurricane Katrina bike. Some poor soul was out riding. Along came a hurricane, swept it down the river, and they've resurfaced here in California. So we're gonna get all these guards off, so we can get to the swing arm pivot bolt. So we get the swing arm out, get the engine out. Some of these electronics are still good. I don't have high hopes, to be very honest with you guys. I don't have high hopes that the electronics are going to be good, but I hope so, man, because buying a new CDI and coil for this thing is just going to add to the cost. Even though we're going to go crazy on this thing, I don't know if it deserves all the money we're putting into it. It'll be a good bike. Come on.
Look at the tweak on them.
Well, it's a capture.
You scared me.
Of course, we could still ohm test the coil and stator. I know the stator's not going to be good. That thing bathed in water. But hopefully the CDI and the coil show good. Put them back in our parts box, which we don't know if we're going to be able to.
Did the moonshine and the exhaust work out?
The moonshine in the exhaust was a little rusty when that came out. May not use that method next time. Just so, as if this story doesn't keep getting better. Lots of frozen bolts all over this thing. Gonna have to drill out the swing arm, unfortunately, or not the swing arm, but subframe. Just keeps getting better. in. Boom. Out. Out. So now, I remove.
The pipe.
Oh, can't believe that came out. I thought I was gonna fight that one. Kickstarter bolts, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes they're stuck and they're bad. This one decided to cooperate. Does mean the lever will though. Holy mackerel. The lever's welded on there with rust and oxidation. Oh yeah. That's gonna take some working.
It's on there good, huh?
She's married. For some reason I don't think that's the bolt slipping. Ugh. This is not a good indication of that swing arm bolt. Oh, you remember that 2013 CRF? Completely fused in the engine and in the bolts. Good, boys.
Look at that chisel.
Sounds pretty welded to me.
From Joel's. The one with the rubber thing on it, so you don't. Oh, there it is. Ah.
Oh, with the punch handle on it. So
yeah,
so we're going to destroy this bolt, but it's gonna come out.
Okay, let's go.
But you're not going to destroy
She's
your
going.
knuckles on it. That's the
going.
secret. Yeah, I see it moved. It's almost flush.
She's going. That's a work hard for the money chisel. I think this one's the same diameter.
Yes.
Try to take it out.
Nope. Oh, look how dry that thing is. Holy. I am surprised this is coming out right now. I am
Oh,
like,
I know. I know.
I am really surprised and happy. Don't want to take it all the way out just so it's in the right hand of this swing arm here, but it is out of the engine. So stop there. Woo! I was worried we were going to have to
lucky.
get out the cutting torch and start boiling metal. Or was at one point.
Augmented 14.
Every bolt is just a mission on this thing. I got a splinter of metal in my hand. But it's a good thing it's in my left hand. Because if it was in my right hand, that would maybe hurt something else later. If you guys know what I'm saying. We'll cut that part out later. This one?
It's going. It's riding on the bearings really
Okay,
nice,
well,
but it's
I'll
not. Yeah.
See if I can hammer it through. Going through with the punch. I'll wiggle it. Extract. Oh my god. Look at that rust ridge. No wonder this thing was. I do see like ancient grease.
I felt some when I grabbed it.
Okay,
I wanted
now
something to give me some traction.
We can pull this thing back far enough so we get the engine out. We got two more bolts to go. And hopefully they're friendlier. Highly doubt it. You still got that 14 flat wrench I gave you? The angled one? Where I took it.
Spider trying to hide. There you go.
Don't kill the spiders, Robert.
Oh, sorry.
We need them.
We need them.
Ready?
We need them to eat other things on here. Yes, I'm ready. Oh, it sounded really.
Don't kill it! Don't kill it! Don't kill it! Don't kill it! Don't kill it!
One.
Robert disobeyed you.
It's alright.
I killed them just because I don't want them on my leg later. Let's see where we at. Down lower. Okay, let's see what happens with this.
That's it.
Here they go.
Oh, look, guys. Like it was removed from the Mediterranean.
Katrina.
Yep, another Katrina proof.
Oh, come on. You gotta come around out. Are you kidding? There we go.
Okay.
Another matching beautiful.
This one still has some coating left. Right here. You can tell. Not make this stuff up. You can't.
That was from the turbocharger.
You just can't. Take two. We'll get it up.
I think it's gonna come out.
Oh yeah. Now it should. Truly, the only part of the whole bike that's worth something, even in its condition. Oh! Boom. Throw it away. Boys, just clean it up and send it. Nah. Just clean up the pivot shaft so we can stick it back in there so we can continue the disassembly of the turd. All this junk off of here. Yeah, no lever.
The leverless brake system.
Yep. Automatic braking. Oh my gosh, hold on. Another thing. You had one job, previous owner. You had one job. This is supposed to point up. That's all. Seriously. Come on. You had one job. Fluid in there. It's a good sign that we might be able to rejuvenate that rear brake. And just like Zayden's mount, the rubber sheared off of this one, so we're gonna have to put a new one on that. So much, the list of what needs to be new on this thing is just, you know, once the frame is powder coated, it all just starts making sense and coming together.
What? This is a 10, isn't it?
Let's leave that in there
Okay,
for
okay.
powder coating.
Oh, okay.
For
That's
all the
true.
holes,
That's
guys,
true.
actually, if you're ever getting a frame powder coated, do yourself a favor and put bolts in all the holes, all of them. because if the powder coater is inexperienced, one of the things that totally sucks is when you get your frame back, you have to go and chase all these holes with a tap to get your threads back, because you won't be able to get your bolts in here. So put bolts in all the holes that take threads, and then send it off, and then when it's done getting powder coated, then you could extract the bolts and throw them away, and then put in your new Bolt MX hardware kits. Now we can pull off this cylinder, guys. See how horrible we know it is. Of course, it doesn't want to come off now. There it comes. The rod's stuck right there, and the piston, look at, you can't wiggle the piston or the rod.
But look at this way, you can't really.
Yeah. The crank's still good.
Look, there's no
play.
No play in the crank that way. It was perfect.
Yeah, no, that thing's got tight clearances.
Damn.
Real tight clearances.
WD-40.
So I got asked after the last video, I think I ruffled some feathers with a comment I made about don't use YZ250 cranks, and I feel like this is a good time to explain why. So YZ250 pistons are fine. I want to clarify that. They're fine. I don't have a problem with YZ250 pistons. The cranks, I can tell you just by looking at this thing, this piston is in really good shape. If you look at the front here, Isaac, there's very minimal scoring, which leads me to believe that this top and bottom end was rebuilt very soon to when it failed. I could almost promise you the rod failed, and then they just let it sit. They let it go away because they knew it was going to be expensive. They probably just spent a chunk of money rebuilding it with a YZ250 crank. And I know it's a YZ250 crank. When I get it out, I'll clean it off and show you guys exactly what I mean. But YZ250 is for their crank division and bearings and stuff like that. They don't use the best materials. And that's why you can buy a rod assembly for a few $100 with all the stuff. That's why I implore you guys to just use a wrench rabbit kit that has a hot rods. They're much better. If you are on a price pinch and you can't afford OEM, do yourself a favor and do the wrench rabbit connecting rod and the whole kit that comes in wrench rabbit. This piston, judging by the coating, I think this is a Vertex piston. I definitely do not think it's a YZ250. I'll know more when and if I'm able to get it off. I don't think I will be. It's just so rotted on there, I'll probably not be able to. But there's usually a maker stamp mark under the piston, and but I might be able to see it once we get the cases split. And monkeying with this thing for a minute now, and I cannot get this flywheel weight off. There's some set screws in the side that obviously rounded out like right away as soon as I put a wrench on them, and so this thing is not going to come off without a fight. So we're going to heat it up a lot. Obviously I'm not worried about hurting the skate or soak. Some penetrating oil. In hopes that it will make this thing bust loose. I don't know how we're going to do that yet. Letting this thing hot soak, looking it over. You guys should not be surprised, neither was I. The drain plug is completely rounded off to the point where there is no hex anymore. It is just a boogered, twisted mess of metal. So, once again, proving to the fact that this thing was just completely abandoned as far as any form of correct ownership went. I mean, I don't know how else to put that, guys. Like, if your drain plug is this bad, then you don't need to ride the bike anymore. You need to fix this, drain your oil, obviously like you're intending to before that broke. So I'm also going to heat that up and see if I can get a pair of channel locks on it And if not, then I will cut a slit in it and put an impact driver with the flat bit in there, try to get it out. And if that fails, then we are looking at replacing both cases, which just is even a harder hit. But I don't think we'll have to. I think I should be able to get that out just as explained. So, fingers crossed. Well, as the tomfoolery continues, I've heat soaked this thing with penetrating oil. I've tried everything to get this thing off. I just can't. So we're going to get the cutting disc and just basically cut it right down the middle. And because we're not going to be able to reuse the flywheel anyway, that thing's just toast. And definitely not using a flywheel weight as of planned right now. If not, I can always order another one. So we're just going to cut this thing off and be able to proceed. Face shield for safety. Clear.
Clear, yeah.
Woo! We got it.
Touching the sun.
Yeah. There's a little sun temperature to it right now.
How to remove your flywheel light when it's up there.
Anybody out there want a slightly used YZ250 flywheel weight? Hit me up. Got one. Now we can screw our flywheel remover in. I said might buggered the thread a little bit,
but it still should thread in there.
16. All right. Run it back up. Plunge it. Got it.
Got you.
All right. So guys, just with a little bit of chewing into it, it's fine. We're not going to reuse that. Throw that in the shit list. And we will now be able to start disassembly on this thing like we wanted to in the first place. So we're removing the stator, which after all that this has been through, literally, I highly doubt it's going to work ever again. And much to my surprise, it's seized in there. Usually those things just kind of come right out. Low hopes for that.
The inside of it, you see that?
Low hopes. Oh, we almost need like a shop vac in here for all this. So what do I see right away? Not as bad. This seal is not placed in all the way. Got it. All the bolts are a little corroded. I'm making sure it's all the way down in there.
Yeah.
Don't want to round one of these out.
Those were.
You want to hold on to it for me, Robert?
Yeah.
There it goes.
There we go.
Okay, we gotta tap on it to help relieve it. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, transmission and gearbox and everything's in good shape. Alright. Other than it being milky,
Oh, well, yeah.
that's the best part about it. Wow, look inside the combustion chamber here. Looks like with some work it can buff out. Yeah, no, the tranny looks not bad at all. Tranny doesn't look too bad. So that's a big relief. Alright, she's still frozen. And there's water obviously in here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Comes no surprise. And there's some rust down there on first gear I can see. Right down here if you look down.
Yeah, there's something here too.
So I think that can be all tumbled. Put in a tumbler and I think that'll come out alright. So we'll leave all the tranny gears in because still need to take off all the stuff on that side. Honestly, I should have taken off the other side first, but I wanted to see if it was even worth my time.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
That bearing is.
The whole rod.
Yeah.
This YZ250.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I've said about YZ250, Robert. Wisco.
It's wide.
You know what I'm just now noticing though? When we split this thing, no oil came out of it. No oil came out of this engine when we split it. I was fully getting ready for just a mess of oil.
I also was
So
wondering why.
running it without oil doesn't have anything to do with the combustion chamber, but it has everything to do with clutch and tranny. So hopefully after this thing locked up, they dropped the oil to see what happened and just didn't refill it. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for at this point, but I don't even know if it's worth crossing my fingers anymore because now we know what we're up against. There's water in the tranny at least. So we know the crankcase had water. Alright, boys and girls, so the good news is our damage is just localized to the combustion chamber only, which I think removing the crank, sorry about the lighting there, removing the crank and just getting in here, because, I mean, look, if I just rubbing with my finger, I'm able to get a lot of that corrosion off that we thought was, you know, really, really bad. Well, it is bad, don't lie, but you know, I'm able to get through it just with my finger and a little towel. So I think once we have the crank out of it, the case is completely stripped down. I'm going to order parts before I strip it all down. But I'll basically just kind of save it like this until the next video where we can totally go through sandblasted cases or Scotch-Brite them. Not sure what I want to do yet. Still waiting on some decisions. You know, you guys are helping on Instagram. I appreciate that. And like I said, in a minute here, we'll go through some of those options. But yeah, definitely damage is just localized to the combustion chamber only. And so we're talking replacing the cylinder, new crankshaft, piston, connecting rod, or main bearing, excuse me, and obviously new gasket seals and just some heavy cleaning. And I have no doubt that this YZ will be back to running. No problems too. I think it'll be great. Obviously things like the flywheel, I'm going to have to buy a flywheel, going to have to buy a stator, which, I mean, no, whatever. I don't even know what to say about that at this point. It's just, it sucks. I wish it wasn't like that, but because it is something that's repairable, obviously we'll take care of it. And, you know, we have to replace that other side case anyways, so maybe we could find like an engine that has like a parts lot on eBay or something like that. I don't know. I have to do some digging around, but anyway, so now that we know what we're up against, I could take a look at Instagram real quick and look at your guys' comments. Alright guys, so here we go. On the London Mix Instagram account, guys, go over there, get involved, and vote on this thing. What are we going to do with this pile? But this pile of potential. So we're going to go through, you know, so basically I put it up like this. Do we want to do a motard? enduro, street legal enduro, sand dunes bike, hill climber, motocross, a straight rhythm possibility. I know a couple pro riders I'd love to do something with that and set it on fire. I only saw one vote for set it on fire, and unfortunately it was a friend of mine. But so here we go. You know, we got hill climber, woods bike, and then that's just, you know, saying get involved. Build to do a giveaway, which is a possibility. OEM build, GNC style two-stroke. The 7 Deuce 2 says the best bang for your buck. So I talked to him a little bit about this, and you guys smash that like button for me. Let me know that you're involved on this thing, and get on Instagram and agree with him. He's got 5 likes on that one. Terp Labs is obviously on board with him, but absolutely we want to know if I should just do a best bang for your buck type thing where we're gonna source parts as cheaply but as efficiently as possible, meaning that we're not going to just put a bunch of junk on this thing, but we're going to put good parts and the best bang for our buck, which at this point is building an entirely new dirt bike. So I don't know how we can save a lot of money, but if you agree with him, get on there and hit his like. MX all day, murder it out. Black Cerakote the engine, powder coat swing arm, frame, black plastics, black rims, spokes, nipples, hubs, black everything. Like, I love that. Like, that's just a total murder cycle right there. Keith Fitch is saying, dude, straight rhythm or enduro cross. So, street legal for sure. Woods weapon, charcoal gray, majority of it, and have a few blue accents. I like that. My buddy Zayden's bike's like that. 2020 newer style plastics. Now, I've seen this one a lot here, and that's kind of what I was leaning towards, guys. You gotta let me know though, because this is the way I'm leaning, is making this thing look like a 2020, and that's gonna take a ton of work. But let's see, enduro woods for sure. Yeah, unbleep it. Those were great YZs. They really are. Make it look like an old factory supercross bike. So there is a lot of comments like from Cycle Dump. He's saying Moto Triple X, that thing, and what he means by that is, I'll put up a picture right here, but like Moto Triple X back in the day, back in the early supercross days, they were really involved in everything motocross, supercross, freestyle. Like, they were really involved. And Jordan Burns, he's a good guy. I know him. He's a really good dude, and I would kind of love to do something like that. And I know Aramoto works with him on his graphics. So here's some more votes, guys. A lot of straight rhythm votes, which means we just have to turn into just the ultimate motobike. Yeah, she is rough. MC replica, straight rhythm, Mike Metzger replica, that would be a trip. Woods bike, straight rhythm. So, I mean, I can't go through all of them here, guys, but I mean, you really can see, like, a lot of guys are getting involved here, and I really want you guys to get involved too, because the more that I have on here, the more votes I have, that's what we're going to go off of on this project. So right now, a lot of people saying straight rhythm bike, and I kind of agree. The only problem I could see right now with having a straight rhythm bike from this thing is I need to get a hold of some A-kit suspension, because in straight rhythm, that A-kit suspension is the main, like, top priority of a straight rhythm bike, is a suspension, and we're kind of limited. But I was talking to you earlier about the Triple S stuff that's available that we can kind of get to work on this, and it would work efficiently. But I honestly would like to see the price comparison between getting this thing straight rhythm ready or just buying a showroom stock YZ250 two-stroke and just building it from there with some, brand new suspension and, pump the motor a little bit, So, but it still is a quite big possibility. Motard's big possibility, enduro, woods bike, all those things, guys. So get on Instagram, get involved, let me know what you guys think, and obviously like this video so I know that you guys are digging what we're doing. So now that we got the news on our motor, I can go ahead and make our orders for our parts, get everything coming, hit up our sponsors, and guys, I will talk to you guys very, very soon. That's a promise. Peace out for now. Love every single one of you guys. Later.